Welcome, everybody. We're here. I hope you can hear me. And I'm going to try to share my screen to see if I can do this. This is what I want. I am definitely learning. Okay, now where is it? Faces? No. Here, I thought I had it figured out. iPhone, iPad. Nope. Well, so far I can't find it.
Sally, would you like me to pull it up?
Wait a minute. Maybe I go. Hang on. Let's see what I did. I did share. Aha! I did get it. Good for me.
Yay!
On our way. I just have to say that when Teresa said that, or somebody else mentioned, I think in one of their comments, that they always say, I am a learner. Well, for sure, I am a learner all the time and have had a lot of help. And thank you very much. We are in the section leader track. I am Sally Wallace. And, I have to share with you that I'm a 50-year member.
Wow.
Yeah, I just got that. It was what was able to attend the convention in Louisville, the past international competition, and received my 50-year pin there from Teresa. So that was very exciting. I belong to the Coeur d'Alene Chorus. I sing with the Coeur d'Alene Chorus, but still, I've had 50 years of doing a lot of different things. One of them is I was a course director for 35 years. I've also served on the International Board of Directors and the regional management team. I've served on the faculties. I'm still on the original faculty. But right now, I am a singer and appreciate section leaders a lot. In fact, I have to tell you, section leaders they have helped me so much throughout my entire Sweet Adeline 50 years. And so it's really exciting for me to be able to visit with some of you with some of the things that you've been so good about doing and showing with us. So here we're going to go. See if I can get this going. Here we go. Together, we can do this. And there were some thank yous at the beginning of Teresa's or I think it was Shelley that did it when she opened up the whole session. But I have some thank yous also, and that is in addition to a big thank you to Deborah Ongst and Cheryl Allen for helping pull all this together for the faculty members. You make such a difference, and you are very much appreciated. This is the first class in the section leader classes, and it's called Beyond Learning Notes and Words. Following this class is going to be a class on diagnosing where you are and diagnostic skills, so that once you know some of the things that you want to do beyond notes and words, where do you start? How do you know where? You'll get a lot of help there. And then tomorrow, 2 more classes. One, tips and techniques. I know you're going to get a lot of help from that class. And finally, one that says and asks the question, what does success look like? And I think that's an exciting question. But right now, we're in Beyond Learning Notes and Words. So what are we going to do? I hope this is going to go. There we go. We've got 3 goals or 3 purposes in this class. And by the time we have finished, I hope we will know the attainable goals beyond notes and words. There are a bunch. Why unison singing is valuable. Now, we sure don't think of unison singing as a part of barbershop harmony, but it is. It's a very important skill, actually, for good barbershop harmony. And hope to add a few rehearsal ideas for your sectionals and your section leader toolbox. So when we first think about attainable goals beyond notes and words, would you just take a moment and jot down what you think some of those are? It can just be a piece of scratch paper, or if you wish to put them in the chat, that's good too. Either way, we're probably not going to be able to have time to go through all of them, but it'll give you a check as to where you are. And I have a feeling you're going to have most of them that we're going to talk about. So take about a minute to do that. So I think some are still writing and thinking, but we're going to go ahead and go on. And the first one that I put down that is an important part of section work is to learn the barbershop craft for the part that you sing with and that you work with. We've got a lot of new members coming in, and they depend on section leaders to teach them how to be a great tenor or lead or baritone or bass. It's not like just opening your mouth and singing, gang singing. There's a lot more to it. There's not enough time in regular rehearsal to go into the details for each part, but section leaders can do that and make that a part of your regular, even though you're working on notes and words. You also can add working on and teaching the barbershop craft. Another one is achieving unit sound, making sure that those who are at your section leader sound like one unit. And unit sound has lots of different pieces and parts to it. We're going to talk about those. It may be that some of them you've already written down on your list. It wouldn't surprise me. So another thing we can learn to do, or we can do, is we can learn more about breath management. We can reinforce the breath management that is taught at rehearsal and proper singing. It's an important piece of being a good singer in your part, and it can be reinforced in section rehearsals. Achieving section unity of dynamics. We don't, a lot of times dynamics are not really emphasized, I don't think, in sections. But gosh, wouldn't it be wonderful if everybody knew and was able to execute exactly when the crescendos are, are those places? And the same for when you're supposed to sing soft. Where do you start? How soft does it need to be? And actually have the entire section adding that to their words and notes. What a fun way to go back to rehearsal and help out the entire rehearsal. Building a section, esprit de corps, so important. And of course, this is building a feeling of pride, a feeling of fellowship, being very proud of the section that you sing with. I remember a time when, and it's been a long time ago, but it was so much fun. And the bass section surprised the chorus, and they all walked in with their own t-shirts, definitely saying who they were and how proud they were to be the bass section. So, and then they continued to wear them most of the time for a long time. But it was a great thing to do, and what a wonderful surprise for the rest of the chorus. I loved it. This is a place that you can develop potential section leaders. You will find people in your section, and you know that they would also make a good section leader. Make sure that you continue to help them develop. There may be a time when you're unable to come to rehearsal and there is a sectional planned. So if you've got someone that can back you up, wow, that's way helpful. And it's also a good place to find that person that will replace you. And we all are supposed to do that in a leadership capacity, one of our jobs. Moving on, I want to talk about the value of singing in unison. We don't think about it very often, but unison singing is the same as unit sound. It's a big part of sectionals. In fact, it's probably mostly what we do. We want all the notes and the words correct so that everybody is within the unit. But there's a lot more that is part of unit sound and unit singing. When we join, here's another piece that happens. Sometimes people think that they don't really enjoy sectionals that much because they don't want to sing in unison. They join to sing in harmony. But let me tell you, when you get those pieces all together, unison singing is stunning, and it can be really exciting. Think about all of the different voices, the different that you have in your section. We do not all sound the same. You put them all together into this one beautiful sound that you can't get any other way, and it's pretty special. I love unison singing for that. This is the time, of course, to correct individual mistakes. Often in a sectional, somebody will pop up and they'll say, "Oh, I didn't know I was doing that wrong. Oh my gosh, I can fix that." It doesn't always have to be the section leader pointing it out. A lot of times, the individual member, she's going to hear it, where she may not hear it in the chorus. She might be just singing a note from another part. I was guilty of that for a long time, especially when I quit directing and started singing on the risers. I would have a habit of singing the notes that I liked the best. Well, that's not quite the way I should be doing it. I need to sing the notes for my part only, and I could correct those mistakes. Another thing, think about this. If every section came back to chorus rehearsal and they all had a beautiful unit sound, each one, imagine how much faster we would polish our music. Holy cow, we'd be able to get into rehearsing the showmanship things that we want to be doing well, because a lot of the detail in unit sound has been taken care of. Would be cool. And finally, just hang on, I gotta get a glass of water here. Perfect unison is not the goal. Excellence in unison singing is. You don't want to get so hung up in all of the details that we don't leave time for expressive singing, for telling the story, and all of the other special parts of barbershop harmony. So let's look at all of those little elements, and there are a bunch. I'll bet you have a bunch of them written down already. Here we go. First of all, and this is something to do in sectional, to have correct singer's posture. Hopefully your section stands when you're rehearsing. If you don't, then as people are sitting, make sure they are sitting properly with their feet flat on the floor and their back straight so that they can get the best breath possible. Everybody can use their face. Everybody can, whether they're sitting or standing, can practice singing with the uplifted countenance, singing with a bright expression on your face, smile as appropriate, and it changes the sound. So that's what we want to give the best sound that we can in our sectional, so then we want to carry it through when we go back into the whole chorus. Posture is important. Obviously, correct notes and words. Hopefully, most everybody will have their notes and words when they come to the section, some part of your sectional. There'll be some sectionals that's the whole purpose, but then there's others where you really want to go beyond the notes and words. What if you're not quite ready and people are still using music? Well, you've got to work the notes and words because that is a basis. But you can do some of the other things along the way and include it. For example, you can work on attacks, releases, even forward motion on a phrase while you're still making sure that they have the correct notes and the correct words. Another thing that can be done, and I'll bet you wrote this one down, matching vowels and taking care of correct diphthongs, making sure they're the right sounds. Making sure for diphthongs, do you all turn them from the primary vowel to the secondary vowel at the same time? Or do some people decide to do it early? It changes everything. You want to do it at the same time. And so for things like that, you may want to isolate and not just sing straight through the song, the whole song, but isolate those places where you have some diphthongs that seem to be a challenge and work on it until everybody is on the same page. And again, consonants. Oh my goodness. We would not understand the words if we didn't have consonants. You know, Lori Lyford has an awesome class on this called Consonants Need Love Also. And you can find it on the international website in the education section. So take a time as a section leader, go on and look up that class and see the tips that she gives for dealing with consonants because they're very important. You want accurate intervals. You want to find the places that they're big jumps. It could be going up or going down. And if your members are not real comfortable doing that, you're probably going to hear some scooping or some sliding. And this definitely takes away from the unit singing. So find those accurate, those places and isolate them. And you do the same thing for chromatic passages. That's where you have the little notes. Say that you're going down a half a step and then you have to go up a whole step and then maybe you got to go another half a step or whatever is happening in there. Figure out where they are, take them isolated and help and go through that in detail so that your members can hear it and do a great job of those tricky places, both big intervals and chromatic passages. And then, of course, we can't leave out rhythm and tempo. It may be that you'll have to slow down the tempo of the song when you're in the learning mode. That's okay, but you want to keep it consistent, and then you can speed it up later, again, to be consistent. So we want to keep the tempo consistent. And a number of ways to do that. You may want to use a metronome, or I think there's get habit and do it. It really does help. They kind of drive you crazy, but it does help. Another thing you could do, maybe just have your members while they're keeping the tempo, just tap their own thumb or back of their hand all together and keep that within the rhythm. Or, and I'm sure you maybe have done this, tap each other on the shoulder so that you feel a connection between each other and the tempo. You want to keep it steady. When it comes to rhythm, there once in a while are some tricky places, and you may have to just find them and make sure that you, as a leader, that you're aware of what the rhythm should be, and just take the time to isolate it and teach those spots. A lot of times, rhythm and tempo and it will depend on the breathing plan. So, And that's super important. I'll bet you that in sectionals, probably that's one of the most common questions we get all the time is to make sure what is the breathing plan? Where can I breathe here? Can I not breathe here? Etc. It's a big deal. So make sure you know it, make sure you teach it, and teach it knowing that it may get changed. That does happen. But you as a section leader are going to keep up with those changes so that you can share it with your members. Okay, I just went through a whole lot of stuff. So I want to give you just a couple moments. Just think about some of the things that we just went through. Add them to your notes if you need to. And I'm going to give you a couple minutes and then we'll come back and do a little bit more. What did you do? Well, I'm trying to come back. I don't know what's going on here. I wonder what I did wrong. Okay, let's go down here. You need to go back here. Nope, go forward. Haha, we're getting better. Okay, we're going to move on. Like I said, I am learning. And most of my teaching has been, of course, in a classroom, not on Zoom. And so I'm having fun with this new way of doing things, but I'm still learning. Okay, let's go on with section leader preparation. You know, this is a big part of what we do as section leaders. If you know ahead of time, and hopefully you always do, that you're going to be in section leaders, it's important that you are prepared. Here's some things that you'll want to do. First of all, and this was mentioned earlier, of course you want to know the notes, the words, the breathing plan, and the interpretation. And because otherwise you're going to get a lot of questions and it's very hard to help your section when you're not up to date and up to skill on knowing the words and the notes and the breathing, etc. The next thing is mark your music. You know, it is so important to mark your music ahead of time. And I'm going to give you a bunch of ideas for things you may want to mark. First of all, number your measures. Many times the music comes with numbers. If it does not, number the measures and then make sure that your members of your section also number their measures. It speeds up the learning very quickly. Mark the octaves that you have with any other section in the chorus. Now, if you are a person who does not read both the treble and the bass clef in the music, this is a special preparation that you need to make for yourself, because the octaves will be in both clefs, and you need to know where they are and how to find them. So if you don't already read both clefs, that's a thing to put on your list of things to do, is to learn to read both clefs. Also mark the major seconds. So major seconds are those places in your music when there's just two notes right next to each other. They may be, for example, maybe there's a F and right next to it, somebody's singing a G. So you're real close together. It makes I love having that. I like working with them. But sometimes if you're not aware of where they are and you're going along singing and all of a sudden you hear that when you're in the chorus rehearsal, and it may make you uncomfortable as a member because you're not aware exactly aware that it was a major second. And if you shy away from it, either one way or the other, you're a little out of tune. So make sure you mark them so that you know where they are. Make sure you know the breathing plan. And of course, you're marking everything in pencil because the breathing plan sometimes changes. And mark the no breath places. Extremely important, because that's going to be places you'll want to listen for in your sectional and make sure that people are not taking a breath where they are not supposed to. You know, the breathing plan also needs to have lessons in how to take a singer's breath in case you need to. Sometimes the phrase is simply too long for some of our singers, and they have to take an extra breath someplace in the middle. Teach them how to do it so that it's not a disturbance to the rest of the line. And obviously, they're going to want to just leave out, it could be a consonant, but more often it's a syllable, one part of a word, one note, and you just leave that off, take a breath there, come right back in. And it works beautifully. The individual singer needs to mark her personal breathing plan on her music, so that so that other singers in the section don't try to take a breath at that exact same spot. I think that's really important. The next one. Mark the tonic note wherever you see it in your part. This is really helpful. The tonic note, of course, is the key note. It's usually what is blown on the pitch pipe. So figure out what it is and mark it every single place you find it in your part. Now, some parts are going to have it a lot, others not very much at all. But wherever it is, as you're going through and working on that piece of music, you might ask your members to stop on that particular note and then just check and say, with the pitch pipe, and say, are we right on? And of course you're right on. Hooray. So give yourself a pat on the back and keep going on. But it's a great place to check for pitch and tuning. Great way to do it. Many courses use P notes, and they do a lot of teaching with P notes. I do not have space or time to go into that in this class, but There's lots of information both on the regional website and on the international education website. And if you're not real familiar with it, this would be a great learning tool for you to get more information about P notes and how to mark them on your music. And of course, you need to be prepared to use a pitch pipe as you need it. Now, maybe the person who blows the pipe in your chorus is in your section, but maybe she isn't. And so if you don't have someone else that is going to do that for you, make sure you're able to do that for yourself. Okay, moving forward. You know, we are not have we have a lot of preparation, and we are teachers, and there's a lot to be taught. And there's some things, and Teresa gave us some wonderful hints on working as a teacher. And I loved her presentation earlier. I'm sure you took notes. I did. But let's look at some things we can do. First of all, be aware that no one makes a mistake on purpose. I'm sure you know that. We don't come into rehearsal and say, oh, I'm going to sing that note wrong, see if she can find it. No, that doesn't happen. We don't make mistakes on purpose, but we do make mistakes. Often the member will find it herself, but if not, you need to show her where it is and help her correct it. And when you do that, you want to give some type of compliment or praise first and then correct. Because compliments are great motivators. Say, for example, you were to say, oh, Mary, I just love your tone. It just works so well. But I need to have you correct a note. Keep the same tone, but correct that note, and we're right on. Well, she's going to do that. And she's going to appreciate that you like something that she is doing well and that you've noticed it. Show that you care. I thought that one of the things that was said earlier tonight was somebody was saying, recognize the good in each member. What about looking over your section and writing down a note, eventually sending it to them about something good in each individual person in your section? What does she do well? Let her know, and let her know you care about how hard she's working. This is a huge motivator and goes a long ways to building that esprit that you want in a section. Show you care. Acknowledge and honor the effort. Sometimes we're given a task and a very short period of time to accomplish it in a section rehearsal. And you may get it all done and you may not. If you don't, sometimes people feel bad. Well, we didn't get to this and this. Well, no, maybe you didn't. But honor what you did do. We did do this, though, and we're doing it well. And we're going to be back together again and be able to complete and finish up the set part that we didn't get to. It'll happen. Thank you for all you did. That's what you want to do. Be your section's biggest section cheerleader. You don't, you'll need to listen a lot of times and not just talk, and not, many times you cannot sing with them or shouldn't sing with them because you don't hear as well. So don't sing with them once in a while, just listen, acknowledge what they're doing, honor their effort, be their biggest cheerleader. Anything you can do in that area really helps. So not about you. It is all about the music. So here's some rehearsal ideas. Got just a few. And yeah, I think we got a little bit of time left. This is good. I've got some notes here. Let me see if I can find them. Okay. First of all, you want to keep your singers engaged. And that means usually it's going at a fast pace, keeping it moving along. keep your moving with purpose. You know what you want to accomplish. You've already planned that. You've learned some diagnostic skills, which you'll get in the next section. And you know where you want to go. So keep them moving. Sometimes you get bogged down because there are some people who simply need help with their notes and words. When that happens, um, take a little time if you need to go through it, but also you don't want to just slow down the whole rehearsal for one or two people who have no issues when the others are just sort of hanging out and they're not able to move. They've already done that, so they're not moving forward. So you might take those people who need the extra help and ask them to stand in front of or next to somebody who is very well, has learned their notes and words very well. And then they can hear them while they're following with their music, and you can keep the sections moving. So that's an important piece. Also, it's good to work on small sections, to not just start at the beginning and go to the end, beginning, go to the end, et cetera, et cetera. Pick a section, a small section of the song, maybe where it has the big intervals or some diphthongs that need to be rehearsed or chromatic places, and work those sections. Here's an idea. Start at the tag. It's a very fun thing to do. Work the tag, make sure it's good, and then go backwards and add a piece of the song, work that, and then sing that along with the tag, and keep working in that manner. Go backwards again, add a little more, then sing it to the tag, et cetera, till you finally get up to the intro. You're going all the way through. You've worked the entire song in small sections, and it's actually a fun process to do it that way. You may already be doing that in rehearsal. Ask for feedback from them, and they will share what is it that they want to work on. Where do they feel they need the most help? After singing a certain passage, you might say, that sounded great. What did you do differently? And have them think about the changes that they made that made a big difference in the sound. Because we're trying to get back to that wonderful unison sound. Reward that. So, I forgot one thing. So before I go into the summary, I just have to share this with you because it's a piece I didn't want to miss. And that is, there's a bunch of benefits from bubbling. So if you don't ever do this in your sectional, add it to your list of things to do. You may hear more about this later on in this series, but bubbling does so much for us. It moves the air, for one thing, which is when we want to do that. It moves the pitch forward to help with forward singing, forward in the front of your mouth. And it relaxes your throat. It's just a wonderful tool. And it's just the bubbling that we probably have done off and on different times in rehearsal. So, for example, bubble the intro, just the intro, and then immediately sing it again with the words and the same energy, the same openness, the same forward placement. You're going to see it fixes a lot of things. So add this to your techniques and to your rehearsal ideas because you'll like doing it. It doesn't have to take much time. Okay, this is the summary. So before we end, we've got a little bit of time. I'm going to ask if there are any questions. And I will get out of this, I think, if I know how, so that I can see you. Let's see. Oh, I don't have everybody. No, no. Okay.
I
Sally,
think you might need to stop sharing in order to see the gallery.
I'll try that. That would be good. I can do that. Hooray! Whoever helped me, thank you for your help. I'm learning. Any questions or comments? I don't know if I see you or not. You'll have to speak up. Okay. You know, I think we're pretty much on time, and you'll have a moment to catch your breath before the next class. I appreciate so much you being here. This was fun for me, and what a wonderful attentive group you are. Best of luck in your work with sections. I think you're wonderful. Thank you.